Existential and metaphysical questions, such as why does the world exist and what is the meaning of life, have intrigued humanity for thousands of years. Different religions and philosophers have given countless of answers to this question. In this video, I'm going to focus on one of my favorite answers, given by Harav Kook, who in my opinion is perhaps the greatest thinker in the history of Judaism. His ideas have personally given me a great amount of inspiration. Rav Kook's idea about the creation of the world is actually quite simple. It is inspired by Kabbalistic ideas, such as Tzimtzum, the Hebrew word for contraction, which argues that God metaphorically contracted himself to make room for the world, which is made up of finite things. Harav Kook argued that God created the world out of a paradox. If God only has his completeness, Hebrew shlemut, then he lacks something, the process of becoming complete, which in Hebrew is called hishtalmut. This is the process of growth, becoming bigger, more complex, and more elaborate. This very simple but profound theological idea that God created the world because he lacked the process of hishtalmut, or things becoming better, help us understand many aspects of the world and of Judaism. First of all, it gives a clear answer to the question humanity has asked for thousands of years. What is the purpose of creation and of life? Rav Kook's answer is that the purpose of life and creation is hishtalmut, to make the world a better and more beautiful place. This can be through fighting evil and injustice, just like Israel does against jihadists, developing technology, creating art, or many other human endeavors. This idea also addresses the problem of evil, which has challenged the faithful since the time of the biblical prophets. According to this worldview, if God had created a world that was already perfect, the process of overcoming evil and struggle would not exist, nor would the virtues that arise from it, such as bravery, discipline, and hard work, especially in creation where free will exists. It would be like a video game developer creating a game with absolutely no challenges to face. This view is also why, contrary to many other religious Jews and Christians who struggle with Darwinism and the fear of evolution, Harav Kook not only believed that evolution does not contradict faith, but actually saw evolution as a proof for God's existence, since it shows that the universe naturally seeks to develop. This theological idea also helps us interpret many elements within Judaism. First of all, Judaism itself can be seen as a tool in which people can do hishtalmut, whether it's moral ideas of Judaism, which I talked about in a previous video, which argue to reduce and virtually eliminate slavery, protect women, help poor and weak people, regulate state tyranny, and more, or the spiritual rituals of Judaism, such as prayer, which brings spirituality and mystical connection with the transcendental. In the Hebrew Bible and in the Jewish tradition in general, numbers have deep symbolic and philosophical meanings. In Judaism, the number 7 symbolizes the completeness within the physical world. For example, the 7 days of creation, the first 6 days may be seen as the process of Ishtalmut, and the Sabbath in which God rests may be seen as a time of Shlemut, or completeness. The same logic can be applied to the week. The first 6 days symbolize the process of becoming complete, and the Sabbath symbolizes completeness itself. This also helps us understand religious ideas about the Messianic age and redemption. The time of redemption, when there will be no wars, and both spiritual and material prosperity, may be seen as the period of completeness. In contrast, all of human history until then is the process of working toward greater completeness. This also shed light on gender relations and differences. Women are seen as more spiritually complete than men, which is why they are not commanded in certain mitzvot, such as putting on tefillin. This helps us understand biblical prophecies about the rise of women in the time of redemption. In an age of completeness, women, who are already considered more complete, would naturally play a greater role.